Hello, folks. Welcome to Scratch the Surface. I'm EJ Scott. Today, my guest is Elden Henson. He plays Foggy Nelson on Netflix's Marvels Daredevil. This is his second appearance on Scratch the Surface. Before I get into what we talked about, let me give myself a plug. I'm on Twitter at EJ Scott and at EJ Podcast. On Instagram, EJScott1106. I have a website, ejscott.com. I have a documentary called Running Blind. It is available digitally on Amazon, iTunes, and Google Play. And I think it's on YouTube. For $2 or $3, you can rent it or buy it. It is a documentary about me running 12 marathons in 12 states in 12 months in 2012, blindfolded. And I did that because I'm losing my eyesight to an eye disease called choroideremia. It runs in my family. My grandfather was blind from it. My mother is a carrier. I have it, and I'm legally blind now. My sister is a carrier. My brother is legally blind, and my sister who's the carrier, has two boys that also have the disease. They are young right now. They're about to turn 10 and 14. So it runs in our family, and it'll keep running in our family if something's not done about it. So go check it out, rent it or buy it, and know that you're helping out. It's a good documentary, about 30 minutes long, and it'll be well worth your time and money. And you can go to curechm.org to learn more about choroideremia. Cool. Thank you. Elden Henson was on my podcast once before. I enjoyed talking with him. I always enjoy bumping into him at functions and things. He works with my girlfriend on Daredevil. So this is an old interview. I recorded it in April. And I'm not releasing it till now because I thought maybe he gave away something that he shouldn't have at the time. Now I don't know. But then I thought, well, maybe I'll just hold on to it until the new season of Daredevil comes out, which is October 19th. And if you're listening to this, hopefully it's October 19th or shortly thereafter. I thought it'd be a good idea to release this and maybe other Daredevil podcasts when the third season premiered. So go watch Daredevil Season 3 right this second on Netflix. We're not going to talk about Season 3 much, but we do talk about other stuff. We talk about being a dad. He's a dad now. Last time we talked on the podcast, he was married. He is not married now. We talk about growing up as an actor, as a kid actor. We talk about lots of stuff, the possibilities of moving back and forth from New York to L.A., what it's like for him now that he's turned 40, and a bunch of other stuff. We had a good talk. It was nice of him to join me in Brooklyn when I was there in April. So from April 16th, 2018, enjoy my talk with Elden Henson. All right, all good?
Yeah.
Hi, Elden.
How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
Over. I know you got a sitter.
Yes.
For your boy.
Kim.
Kim's your boy? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, Dodger, my boy. I found this woman, Kim, that helps me out while he's in town.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's really good. And he really likes her, too.
That's good. How old is he now?
He'll be 4 in June.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, it is crazy. He was born, I think, right before we started season 1.
Yeah, I know.
Like 10 days before we started season 1, yeah.
He's a Daredevil baby.
He is a Daredevil baby.
You know?
It's crazy.
Oh, man. How is he, obviously physically he's grown, but what do you see in these changes in the last 4 years? Like, what are you learning?
Well, I mean, dude, the first 2 years is like the craziest thing I think I've ever seen, because they go from basically just being a little sack of skin and bones to they triple in size, and they're walking and talking, and he's got like a sense of humor now, and giving me a hard time. And, it's really fun though, man. Like he's at that age where we've kind of are at the same maturity level. So it works out really good for me. But it's great.
He might surpass you pretty soon.
Very soon. But it's great. Like all he wants to do is wrestle or like be chased or chase me or, He's really into Transformers right now.
That's cool.
And it's kind of funny because he's never seen the movies or anything, but like a little kid at his school brought in a Transformer, and it's like the two things he loves the most, like robots and cars. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And it's like, it's crazy how good they get at stuff. Like he's got a little Kindle that he watches movies on, like when we're traveling. And he's now figured out how to get into the Amazon thing and like look up Transformer things. So he'll like come in with his little Kindle and be like, Dad, I want this one.
Oh my God.
I want to. I'm like, oh my God.
Wait till he figures out your credit card number.
Yeah.
He's like,
he probably already figured it out.
Yeah, I saw on your Instagram that you were like watching Fraggle Rock with him and stuff, and that's gotta be so
Dude,
cool.
it's really awesome because I loved Fraggle Rock when I was a kid.
Me too.
And
we're about the same age, you and I. And
yeah.
We grew up with all that stuff.
Dude, and it's, I don't know, not that the kids stuff isn't good nowadays. Like, I mean, they really do the movies well, where it's like, like the adults can enjoy it as well as the kids.
Yeah.
But that stuff, just the level of artistry that went into every little detail of making those puppets and all that kind of stuff.
Henson. Elden Henson's the best.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Are you showing him like Dark Crystal? And
I want to show him Dark Crystal. I'm afraid.
Labyrinth and stuff like
I'm afraid he's going to be a little freaked out by that one.
That's good. Get him young though.
Yeah,
freak him out young.
Yeah, he told me the other day. He was like, Dad, I had a dream there was a spider living in my brain. And I was like, dude, your imagination is awesome. Like, that is awesome.
Hopefully it's just a dream.
Yeah, I know, right?
Otherwise you just ignore it, and it turns out he does have that. So how, because the last time I had you on my podcast, you were married.
Yeah.
Not married anymore.
No.
But so how does that work out in terms of custody and stuff like that?
So while he's still in preschool, we're doing like every other 2 weeks. If he comes out to New York for 2 weeks, I fly home and I get him and I bring him out. He's in New York for 2 weeks, and then he's with his mom for 2 weeks. Once he starts like kindergarten, first grade, and he's in real school, probably won't be able to do that anymore. I mean, I wouldn't want to, be taking him out of school that often. Right now he's in my mom's preschool, and like I said, Kim used to teach.
You say your mom's preschool?
Yeah, my mom runs a preschool in LA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome.
That's pretty convenient.
It's really convenient. And, he loves it, and he's still able to do a lot of the things they're doing there, and, But yeah, once he gets to, kindergarten, first grade, he'll probably have to figure something else out.
Yeah.
Start trying to be in LA more.
Yeah, I was going to say,
and then also, who knows, by the time he's in kindergarten, first grade,
maybe Daredevil will be
who
over.
knows? Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine this would go forever. Although that would be nice, but not realistic.
A couple more. I guess a couple more seasons.
Yeah, I think
it's not going to be like Supernatural where it goes on for like 20 seasons.
Has that show been on for that? It's been on forever,
like
right?
15. I don't know. I've never seen it. So, but
a friend of mine on Instagram just was like posting something. She was on an episode of Supernatural, and I was like, "Wow, that show is still going."
Still going. The same two.
Those dudes must be rich.
Something, right? I feel like it's past the time of me getting into it because I can't watch 400 episodes of something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, there's so much TV nowadays, too. And especially having a kid, it's like being able to even finish one episode or something, let alone, even 8. It's a hard season to watch,
Do you show Dodger Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Do you watch Sesame Street?
I like Sesame Street. Anything that isn't violent. Mm-hmm. That's like my one.
So not Daredevil.
It's not Daredevil. And yeah, Daredevil is. I mean, he also. I don't know. I've tried to he gets it in some ways. Like he'll say Daddy's shooting a TV show, but I don't know that he really knows what that means.
Yeah. Did you ever show him like a scene that you were in?
I tried showing him like a piece of Mighty Ducks, and he was just like, whatever. I think because nowadays, there's the video on the phones and everything is so good, and like he loves watching videos of himself. So I don't know that he really understands there's a difference between like just making videos of yourself or being on like TV
and everybody sees it.
Yeah.
And you getting paid for it,
right?
And stuff like that. It's interesting. Yeah, I guess he'll figure that out in a few years. I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's funny. My ex really wants to like, get him involved in the business. Yeah,
yeah.
And I'm very much against it.
Yeah.
But he's definitely a performer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. He likes to get laughs, you know what I mean? Like he's very expressive, and he's got a really great sense of humor.
Well, it's interesting that you said that, because you started at what age?
Well, I started doing... so before I was acting, I was doing, like, modeling.
Yeah, I can see that. Cheekbones.
Yeah. Like print ads and stuff for, like, Huggies or whatever.
So that's real. I mean, we're talking, like...
Yeah, I was, like, a toddler. I was, like, 3 years old. And I was actually with Ford models, but like they had like a kids division, I guess, which I find hilarious because I'm the opposite of what a model looks like now. But yeah, so then I started. I think I've been a member of SAG since 1982.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm not great at math, but
you
however many years.
You could retire soon, I think.
Dude, I would love to retire. I really would. I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, especially now that I have a kid. I mean, honestly, I love my job and I love what I do, but there's times where I think like, man, I would love to just be a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
And as I'm not good at that many things, but I'm good at being a dad, and I love it. Yeah. And it's just like every day there's a new thing that they do or say, or he's like really a negotiator. He's become like a real negotiator, so I'll be like, Dodger, time to turn off the movie and get in the bath, and he's like, let's make a deal. And I'm like, well, it's like, how about I watch my movie 5 more minutes and then I get in the bath?
How about that? I watch whatever I want and you get me a milk. All right, I'm the boss here.
He really does run the show, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't know. I should be a little bit more strict. I'm not great at being strict.
Yeah. Do you find it hard to be strict because you seem only like a certain, 2 weeks, every other couple weeks or whatever?
I think it's more just because like he's clever and funny, and I don't want to like I don't know. I want to reward him for being funny and clever. So a lot of times, if he can do something in a clever enough way, or then I'll be a little bit more lenient. But I mean, I don't know. I guess there's different things that some people would be more strict on or not. Like I'm not like big on like this is like mealtime. You have to sit down and eat. Right. You know what I mean? Like I kind of let him just
eat all your vegetables.
I make sure he eats. Like not just eating sugar all the time, but like I'll make him a lunch and I'll just like sort of set it down and he can kind of like eat it as he goes, and he likes to sort of play and do things at the same time, and even when he's here in New York, I try to keep him on sort of an LA time schedule, so it's easier on him when he goes back. Right. So when he's here, he goes to bed probably like 10:30, 11ish, because at home he goes to bed around 7:38, right. So it just makes it easier for him when he's going back and forth.
He gets up later, I guess.
Yeah, he gets up like around like 9:30.
Okay,
something like that, which is actually great for me too.
Yeah,
just getting up early sucks, and also like we're shooting nights right now, so that like going back and forth.
Have you brought him on set at all?
I did once, and then I was told I'm not allowed to do that.
Oh, you can't bring your kid on set? Maybe he's a spy.
Yeah. They were worried about him posting stuff on Instagram.
Right.
But
on his blog.
It's not. I would love to be able to bring him to set more often, but they they're not into it. So we'll be doing that again.
Yeah. What do you think that one time that you did it? Anything? Did he understand any of it?
Well, what's funny is that he was only there for a short amount of time, and then I like sort of put him in a little chair like behind the monitors, and it was a scene I was shooting in Nelson's Meats with my brother, and he was talking about like how I had more choices than he did or something. I can't remember the dialogue exactly, but after the scene, I went and talked to Dodger, and he was like, "Dad, like what choices do you have to make?" Like he was like couldn't really separate the show from reality.
That's funny.
But he and other stuff I've worked on, like they don't have an issue with me bringing him to set. So he's been on set quite a bit, and he loves being in the trailer.
Yeah,
like that's his.
Okay.
Like he would love, like that's his. He's much more interested in being in the trailer than being on set.
Okay.
Because it's like
trailers are fun.
He's like, there's a TV and all this stuff and this little room and like I don't know. I think it just seems like a little fort to him or something like that. You know,
like a playroom.
Yeah.
And you don't want him getting into the business that young because you did it and you just you could see the negative side of that.
Well,
stuff?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's weird because I had a great experience growing up. You
were in Turner and Hooch.
I was in Turner and Hooch. That's right. I was. Man, I forgot about that. I don't know. I missed out on a lot of stuff, and I don't regret my childhood in any way. And I feel like
whose idea was it? Was it yours or your parents to?
It was just something that we fell into. So, like, in the beginning, my mom was working for a photographer, so that's how we started doing... And my brothers were working, too. That's how we started doing, like, print ads and stuff. And then that just, like, eventually led to commercials and TV. And, it's just kind of one of those things we fell into. And then I kind of always thought, when I was younger, that I would, like, grow up and, like, do something important. You know what I mean? Or, like... have a real job. I just thought it was something I would do as a kid. And then I got a little bit older and I realized that I actually really loved it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just something I was doing.
Real jobs.
Yeah.
Did you ever
that was the thing.
Job?
I think I had a realization that, like, when am I ever going to be able to work as little and have as much time off and make money and be able to, like, support my family and all those things. And, I realized, I think at a certain age that I was super lucky.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, might as well keep doing this. And then as you get older, like I think I just found that it's actually really therapeutic for me in a lot of ways, like being able to play different characters and
emote.
Just trying to understand the psyche of different characters, which in turn I think would help me. But I don't know.
Do you do therapy?
I do, yeah. I have an awesome therapist here. Yeah. She's really helped me a lot. Yeah.
I
love therapy.
Yeah, me too. Is she in the city?
She's in the city, yeah. And she's amazing. I actually haven't been able to see her very much since starting this season. But I'm really looking forward to, like, getting back into the swing of things once the season ends. She's incredible, man. Like, I recommend therapy to anybody. Everybody. Especially if you can find someone that really you feel like is... and she's great because she's... works with other actors and stuff like that. And, so she sort of understands how weird that is,
Yeah,
it's a weird lifestyle, you know what I mean? I was telling someone the other day, I remember I was doing some interviews after shooting, and, when I was younger, it was a strange thing, because, you'd be, like, shooting a movie somewhere, and, like, they're putting you up in, like, the Four Seasons or something, and you're living in the Four Seasons for a month, and then you wrap and you go back to, like, your shitty studio apartment. And, you know what I mean? And you're just like, this is what am I doing? This is the weirdest lifestyle, But yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, if he wants to act when he's older, like, I'm not gonna keep him from doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think I would, I'm not gonna encourage it, but I would support it. So if he gets to an age where he starts showing an interest and he wants to do it, then
school plays and things like that.
Yeah, I would definitely support it. I just think that I didn't really gain anything by being a child actor, and I think it was harder for me. That's not true. It's not that I didn't gain anything. It was just harder for me to make that transition, I think.
Does it warp your point of view of what life is, like normal life?
Yeah, I think it definitely can. sort of like I was saying with the, living situation, you're like, and, people recognizing you. And then, I was lucky because I had a really great group of friends around me that had nothing to do with the business. But growing up in California, and I was, going to high school in Burbank, because that's where a lot of the studios are, like NBC, and, a lot of kids at my school, even though they weren't actors, maybe they had like an uncle who was a Teamster, or, so their parents worked for the studios in some capacity. So it wasn't like super weird. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't, and there was other actors at my school. It wasn't like a professional children's school or anything like that. So it was kind of like a nice way of doing it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, I would imagine if I grew up in like a small town somewhere and I was like an actor, then maybe it would have warped my perspective a little bit more on, I don't know, my life. And, you know what I mean? Like, but I just, growing up in LA, I think
it's kind of
was pretty normal.
Yeah. It's pretty normal. Did you ever have like a regular day job?
No.
Never.
No. But what's funny is when I think I was like 16, I was like taking myself very seriously. Like it was like when I started like realizing like, oh, this is something that I want to do with the rest of my life. It's like, oh, how am I ever going to play a normal person if I'm not normal? So I went to this like local pizza place.
It's a funny way to put it, though. I'm gonna play normal if I'm not normal.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a job, like a normal job. And I went to a pizza place that was not far from me, and like filled out a job application, and I was gonna like deliver pizzas. And then I don't know, a couple weeks later they called, and I think by then I was over the idea.
But while I'm on the phone, can I get a pepperoni, please? Oh man, that's funny. Do you and your ex get along okay?
Yeah. We do.
Sort that out pretty good?
Yeah.
Nothing...
We've actually... I think we found that we get along better.
Yeah.
Now that we're not together. I mean, there's always stuff that's difficult. Just figuring out time and holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but for the most part, I'm pretty lucky that we get along pretty well. And, the truth is, ultimately, we both just have his best interest in mind.
That's good.
And and he's awesome, and he's really a easy kid.
Yeah.
Like I'm not particularly religious at all, but someone told me, they were like, there's a saying that God gives you what you can handle, and I remember thinking like, if that's true, then yes, he gave me like all I can handle, because he's the easiest kid in the world, man, and it would be. I've seen some other people, and luckily he's healthy, and, he doesn't have any issues. And, I had a friend, his kid had some, not serious issues, but just, anything with a kid that young, is really hard.
Pop up, ADHD, autism, stuff. I mean, you never know what's going to...
Yeah, it can be difficult. And then also, they can be difficult at that age. Like, they start discovering... that they can say no to things.
Mm-hmm.
But he's... words. Yeah. Dude, it's really funny. He actually is always on me about... I'm not great at not swearing in front of him sometimes. Like, I forget. Especially because, it's only every other 2 weeks, and he always reminds me, Daddy, don't say fuck. Like, oh my God, I'm the worst dad in the world.
Do you have a swear jar or something?
No, but that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I should try doing that. That's a good idea.
And then you can buy them so you can say, "Oh, you can do whatever you want with the money."
Yeah, that's a good idea.
How you liking that? You guys are. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about season 3, but you guys are filming season 3, and that's probably all I'm allowed to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I can never keep up with what we're allowed to say and what we're not. But yeah,
you have short hair.
I have shorter hair. I have great suits this season. They sent me to a place in New York, in Brooklyn, called Martin Greenfield. And, dude, they're amazing. And it's like that typical New York thing where the driver dropped me off, and I'm looking at this like big warehouse, and I'm like, this looks a little sketchy, you know what I mean? And like, they're like, oh, it's on the 3rd floor, and so I go up the stairs, like no sign on the door or anything, and I'm like, am I like about to be murdered or something?
Smoke.
I walk into this place, and it's like this old place with like a bunch of, you know, old men making suits and everything, and they were like could not have been cooler. And, you know, there's all these pictures of them with, like, presidents, like, that they've made suits for. And I guess someone was telling me that they did all the suits for Boardwalk Empire, like, did all, like, the period suits and everything. And so it was kind of great, actually, when I first... Because I've never had a suit, like, made for me.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've only just bought them off the rack or whatever. Yeah. And when I put the suit on that they made for me for the first time, the guy was like, what do you think? And I was like, I feel like a man for the first time in my life, man. I was really like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I could wear a suit every day if I had known it would be like this, you know?
How many did they make for you?
So we've done a few now. I think there's been like 3 or 4 different suits that they've made for me. And the great thing is, like, they have all my sizes now, so when they need a new suit, they just make it. I don't even have to go in anymore.
Do you get to keep them? I guess they're...
if I don't, I'm going to steal one for sure. And I was actually even thinking that I would like to go there and just have one made for me.
Just for yourself.
Just because, you know, the material and stuff is more in line with, like, the character.
Yeah.
I would probably choose something. Although I will say that our costume designer is awesome. Like, she's really killed it this season. I mean, we've actually really been lucky all 3 seasons to have great people on our crew, but she's really... I love the suits. Yeah. She's really great.
And you got to bounce around to different shows?
I did.
And stuff? Like Jessica
Jones?
I
did a scene on Jessica Jones, and then did an episode of Luke Cage.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't know about that.
And that was pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that. I don't know. It's hard to keep up these days. But that was really fun because I love, what's his name? I think he's
Mike?
He's
a good dude.
He's a good dude, and he's really funny, and he keeps it very
relaxed,
light. Yeah, you know, he's a good dude, man. And it was fun. It's a weird thing, this whole Marvel thing, you know, the Marvel universe and everything. It's been fun to, because I didn't know anything about comics going in. I was not a comic book guy, so to be learning all this stuff and being able to be on the different shows and everything, it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Is Dodger into comics or anything like that?
No, like I was saying before, he's really into Transformers right now.
Just be like, look at this Daredevil comic. It's pretty neat.
I was talking to Alex. He directed a couple episodes this season, and he's got a kid that's just a little bit older than mine, and I guess he's really into comics. And I guess one day he had, I don't know who it was, but maybe one of the stunt guys or something. He did a little video of someone in the Daredevil suit. Okay. And he like showed it to his kid, and he said his kid was just like, oh my God, you know, like totally freaking out.
That's so funny. Do you get recognized on the street? I mean, you must get recognized.
I do.
Do you have any weird experiences? Deborah had a weird one yesterday.
Oh, really?
Just a kid was like weirded out, like seeing her and asking her weird questions and stuff.
You know, I found that, I don't know, the comic book fans are pretty cool. I do get recognized a lot, but you know, weirdly, I don't know, when I was a kid, I would get recognized a lot for the Mighty Duck stuff, and that weirdly still is what I mostly get recognized for.
Yeah. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know.
And, you know, I've done some of the conventions where I've done signings and stuff like that, and the majority of stuff that people want signed for me anyway is Mighty Duck stuff.
No kidding. Wow.
Yeah. Like people bringing jerseys and like hockey pucks and like all kinds of stuff. And that's actually really fun, you know, because I mean, that stuff, that was so long ago. I think we shot the first one in 91, and I think it came out in 92. And so, yeah, to look back at all that old stuff, see, like, the pictures of us when we're all, like, little kids. Yeah. Like, really mind-blowing.
You keep in touch with any of those guys?
Yeah. So my younger brother was in all 3 movies with me.
I didn't know that.
And
so you keep in touch with him.
I keep in touch with him. He actually lives in Brooklyn, which is really great because his older son is 2 months younger than mine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great. So we try to get them together as much as possible.
Is he still acting?
He's not still acting. He's wants to be a director now.
Oh, cool.
And the guy who played Adam Banks, Vincent LaRusso, still one of my best friends.
Nice.
And then, I don't know, anytime I run into those old guys or get to see them at a reunion or something like that, it's always really nice. It's sort of, when you go through something like that at that age where everyone was just like going through puberty and changing and, it's like a very...
and you were playing
bonded.
A team. You were playing a team, and that's a bonded.
So there's like a level of like kinship, I guess, when I see those guys. Like maybe I don't talk to all of them all the time, but like they feel like family.
Yeah. You see them on TV, you're like, that's cool. That's so funny. Do you still, if you had to, could you ice skate?
Well, it's funny. My son wanted to go ice skating really bad. He's been asking me about it.
Rockefeller Center or something.
I took him to the ice skating rink here in that Prospect Park, and obviously he couldn't really skate on his own, but they have those little things they can hang on to. It's like a little penguin kind of thing,
right?
And so they can have the little handles on it, and so we were like skating around and. I didn't realize the first time I'd been over to that ice skating rink, but there's like one that's covered, and then you can go outside, and there's like another one that was on the side of it that was uncovered, and it was snowing, so it was like snowing. We were ice skating, and he was like in heaven. Yeah, you just thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I want a kid.
You do?
Yeah.
It's great, man. It's funny. I swore up and down. I was like, I'm never gonna have kids. It's not for me.
Well, it was kind of an accident that it happened.
Yeah.
But a happy accident.
Happy accident.
As Bob Ross might say.
Yeah. And now I'm like, if I had the money, I would have like 30 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it really is the best thing that's ever happened, man. They're so, it's just incredible to see the changes, and I don't know. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I mean, dude, don't get me wrong. Can
I borrow the Dodger sometime?
Yeah, you can borrow Dodger when you want. It sucks for like the first 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
And then you sort of turn a corner. Yeah. And it just becomes really, really great.
You get used to each other. Kind of.
Yeah. And they're, you get more used to like what they need or what they want or what the problem is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, when we first had him, I was just like, I remember driving home, and I've heard other people say this too, and like thinking like, I am not, because first couple days you're in the hospital and like there's people helping you out and you feel safe, and then you're driving home and you realize like, shit, I am not qualified for this at all. It's like I didn't take a test. Like no one tested me to make sure I know what I'm doing.
There should at least be like an oral test, right? There's like
I think
a few oral questions, multiple choice questions, something like that.
Maybe got to get a license or something. But once that happens, and then they start talking, which is crazy, and walking. And
what was his first word? Remember? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Fisk.
Yeah. Daredevil. It's funny, I remember when he was little, I would ask people that have kids, I'm like, whoa, what was his, when did he start walking? When did he start talking? People were like, I don't know, I can't really remember. It was probably around this age. I remember thinking then, like, how could you forget that stuff?
Yeah.
And then now, like, I can't remember any of it. Like, it's all such a big blur. I think that I have a book somewhere of, like, when I would write things down.
Okay.
Which I'm glad I did, because I certainly don't remember any of the milestones, like walking or talking. But he did start walking here, actually in Prospect Park. He took his first steps at the zoo over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Pretty crazy.
And you just turned 40.
I did,
like half a year ago or whatever. How was that? I'm 42.
It was pretty cool.
I was a little shaky when I was turning 40.
I've always felt like a grumpy old man, even at a young age. So now that I feel like I'm and getting into my 40s, and hopefully I'll make it to my 50s. Like, I'm starting to come into my own.
Okay.
Now.
Well, how so?
Just like, I don't know. I care a lot less about things that I can't control, and very set in my ways, and more than happy to. I remember, when you're like in your 20s and stuff, and you're like, oh, I don't want to go out tonight. All your friends are like, man, come on, man. Like, and it's like now it's just much more acceptable to not go out.
Yeah.
I went and had dinner last night at my favorite restaurant. Have you been to Raoul's?
I don't think so. Where is it?
It's on Prince Street between Thompson and Sullivan.
Where is it? Italian?
It's a French restaurant. And it's been around since, like, I think they opened in, like, 1975 or something like that. And my friend Kareem, his dad opened the place, and he's now running it. So it's kind of like the place that I always go when I'm here. And it's, like, only 3 blocks from where I'm living now.
And good food, I guess.
Great food. Food's awesome. So anyways, my friend Andrew Gerland is in town, also working on a Netflix show. And
which one?
Friends from College.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So we went to have dinner, and we went early, man. I think our reservation was at like 6:45, and I was probably back at my apartment by 8:30, and I was done. You know what I mean? I was like ready for bed at that point.
Yeah.
I
totally get that.
I guess that's what I mean by like coming into my own. Like I'm okay being, at home at 8:30 and getting ready for bed at 9. You know what I mean?
And sometimes with Daredevil, you guys have to work overnights and stuff. That's got to be killer.
Yeah, that's brutal. It's easier if you're like. Well, luckily, it seems like we haven't had as many nights as we normally have, like the first couple seasons. And it feels like they've all kind of been grouped together over these last few weeks. And that's, I feel like, easier. Like when you're, at least if you're shooting nights, if you're on a night schedule for a little bit, your body adapts a little bit more than when you're sort of bouncing back and forth. Like a lot of times on TV shows, Monday you're starting at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. And then by Friday, you're not going in till like 6 p.m. And it's really hard to get your body on.
That's so weird. That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing that they do. I know they have to for like union things. They have to give you a certain amount of time between, when you're done and when you start again or something like that. But it always gets pushed and pushed. And
Right. They have to give you like turnarounds and stuff like that. Which is funny because I think actors get 12 hours, like a 12-hour turnaround. Crew doesn't get as much.
No,
which doesn't seem fair because they
work
a lot harder. They're there before we are, and then we're going home before they do. It just doesn't seem, especially with the drivers, man. Like, I don't know how they do it. Because they're coffee. Hopefully, they get a chance to nap at some point during the day. But yeah, they're always there on time, ready to go, and. They're like a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, they have to drive back to set and drop off some camera stuff, and then they go home, and then they're there to pick you up, and they're always like early to make sure that they're there when you come down, and I don't know how they do it, man.
Yeah, I don't either.
I really don't.
And they don't get paid as much, and all that stuff too. I see. I don't know if I remember seeing that tattoo on your.
Oh yeah, I got this little skull and crossbone on my ring finger to commemorate the death of my marriage.
Aww.
And serve as a reminder never to get married again.
Really?
No. But that's what I tell people. Yeah. And usually it gets a good laugh.
Wow.
But yeah, I have a few more. I got this one. This one's relatively new.
What's that?
It's a...
it's a skull. Amigo. Skull with a sombrero? Is that what it is?
And a mustache.
What's it say?
Amigo.
Friend. What made you get that one?
It was sort of a tattoo that me and a couple of friends had talked about getting. Okay. We had like a bonding experience.
You mean they all get the same tattoo, all you guys?
Well, that was the plan, but they haven't gotten theirs yet.
Some amigos.
I know.
That's right. What about the one on your left forearm?
Oh, this one's St. Joseph. I've had this one.
You've had that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
When you do Daredevil, I mean, you're usually in a suit, but I guess they have to cover up the ring.
Yeah, they do cover the ring one, and then the ones on my forearm, if like I have my sleeves rolled up or anything like that, I have to cover them. Makeup usually is not happy with me on those days.
They probably hate anybody with tattoos.
Well, you know what's funny is it's like they've really gotten a lot. You know, they make makeup that's specifically made for covering up tattoos. Yeah. So it's not like, I remember, you know, when I first started getting tattoos, it was like a whole ordeal. Mm-hmm. You know, it would take like an hour and a half or something. But now they seem to like bang it out pretty fast.
Do they spray? Do they spray stuff?
Some people do. Every makeup artist has like a different method. But yeah, a lot of people will use the airbrush.
Mm-hmm. Airbrush.
And then I can't remember the name of it now, but there's a makeup that I wish I could remember the name of it, but it works really well. Like it covers it up pretty fast. Yeah.
Yeah. You have another project coming out, right? A movie?
I did do a movie. It was called Spivak. I don't know what's happening with that.
With your friend, I've met your friend before.
Oh, right, Mike Bacall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really fun cast, man. Mike Bacall, Michael Cera did a small role in it.
Rob Kaczynski?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Who else? Anna O'Reilly, who's awesome. I love her. Trying to think.
You don't know when it's coming out?
I don't know.
It's a comedy?
It is a comedy. Last I heard, they were like editing but you know.
Is it like an indie or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty small budget.
And are you still writing? Because whenever I talk,
I wasn't. I mean, I was writing, but I'm not anymore. I was writing actually with my friend Michael, and then you know, I mean, I was more just like hired help.
Okay.
And you know, it got to be really tough because everything sort of got pushed, and then the window that we had to like be able to work on it together closed, and then I was here in New York and he was in LA, and then he was working on multiple things, and then I started working on Defenders, and it just became like really hard to be doing it, and so we sort of stepped off the project
temporarily or for good? I
think for good, man. You know, he got really busy, I got busy, and then I also just found like having a kid and working and being in, you know, on the other side of the country, it was just it just became too difficult. So
do you see yourself, I mean, I guess you could, I mean, Deborah kind of does this, but would you consider getting a place in LA and spending half the year there, and then whenever you work here, spend half the year here?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. You know, this job, I don't think would be the job I'd be able to do it on, you know? But yeah, I would love to have a place in LA and here. I mean, LA is my home. I consider LA my home. That's where I grew up.
And you think you'll move back at some point?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would love to always keep a place here because I do love New York, and they are shooting so much stuff in New York now. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, that would be the dream, to have a place in LA and New York, but
it is expensive.
It is, man. It really is.
It's great.
And you know, it's like this job. You know, I'm flying back to LA every 2 weeks to get my kid, and it's like I got to buy 6 plane tickets to go out and get him and bring him back and then bring him home, and the cost of living here in New York is outrageous. And then having a kid here, like all the stuff that they need is crazy. So definitely not saving any money on this job. I'm definitely going to have to find another job right after this one.
Hey, Mighty Ducks number 4?
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? Someone sent me something. I don't know. There was some blurb and something about them trying to make a Mighty Ducks TV show or something like that.
I see that.
And then I've heard for a while, a few years ago, Jordan Kerner, who was a producer on Mighty Ducks movies had like a barbecue, like a reunion at his house, and he had been talking about trying to make a fourth Mighty Ducks. And people ask me about it all the time.
Were you on all three?
I was on all three, yeah. But so far, like, nothing's really come to fruition. I mean, I would be down. I would love to revisit that. That would be hilarious.
See 40-year-old Mighty Ducks where there's like knee issues and back pain and
yeah, that would be great.
And acid reflux and all these issues. That'd be so funny. But I could see them doing a TV show. I guess maybe they'd just do a full reboot or
that's what I would think they would do. I mean, I don't know, but I do think that there's, you know, enough people out there that would be interested in watching it, probably with their kids now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
everything's, I mean, like they're rebooting Roseanne. I mean,
yeah.
You know, they brought that back and Will and Grace. And,
Oh, that's right. They did bring back Will and Grace.
Yeah, and all these other shows they're planning on bringing back too.
It's pretty wild.
It's old as new.
Yeah.
Well, are you not writing on your own or anything?
Not right now. I mean, I have a few things that I've written that, you know, hopefully once this all ends, you know, I'll sort of dust off and maybe try to make.
For yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just difficult with this job because I don't ever really know when I'm working or not, or if I'm going to be doing other shows, or if there's going to be another Defenders, or if there's not, or you know what I mean? It's just there's so much unknown that I kind of just got to a point where I'm like, you know, I'll just ride this out.
Yeah.
You know,
see where this takes me,
and then try to work on some of my own stuff.
Oh. Are you in the dating pool now?
I am, yeah. I've been seeing this girl actually for about a year now. She,
the girl on your Instagram. There's one.
Yeah,
there's a picture of her.
Jana. She actually found me my apartment here in New York.
She's a realtor. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
And yeah, so it's kind of funny, small world. I went and looked at an apartment, and it was on like the 5th floor or something. It was an awesome apartment, but it was on the 5th floor, and I was just like, I can't see myself.
It's a walk-up?
Carrying Dodger up 5 flights of stairs.
5 flights.
So she was like, well, I can show you some other places. So one day, like, she scheduled, like, I don't know, like 10 places to see. And so we were kind of, like, together all day, and we were talking, and it turned out that we had a mutual friend, and then that friend came to town, so then we all hung out.
That's a small world, having a mutual friend. That's funny.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's from, she lives here in New York. So I think she's been living here for like the last 10 years, but she's from Northern California.
Okay.
So I guess it's not that weird, but it is still small world.
It is. I think so. Oh, that's cool. So you guys are together. That's nice. Mm-hmm. That's nice. Things are going well.
Yeah, she's great. She's great with Dodger. Dodger really loves her. Yeah.
Does he negotiate with her?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's funny because he calls her babe. Because I call her babe.
That's
so I'll be like, all right, bye, babe. And Dodger will be like, bye, babe. And like, I think he kind of thinks that's her name. And so it's become a thing. Like, my mom calls her babe. My brothers call her babe. Dodger calls her babe. It's like become her name now.
Well, I know what to call her if I ever meet her, I guess.
Yep.
That's hilarious. That's very funny. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for coming over.
Absolutely, man.
And taking time out of your schedule.
Anytime.
Fighting the rain.
Yeah.
It's a nice day here in New York today. It's a pouring rain. I took my dog out earlier. It just poured.
Oh, yeah. It's so brutal.
Just poured on us.
That sucks.
And you said you wanted to get a dog.
I do want to get a dog. I mean, I think I'll have to wait a little bit.
Would you wait till Daredevil's over? Then you could go to get a house or something in L.A.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to have... it would be tough to have... but also, I think I want to wait till Dodger's just a little bit older. So he can take the dog for a walk.
Yeah, he can have some responsibility.
Yeah, be a good tool to teach him some responsibility.
Yeah. How does he like visiting New York?
He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves New York.
Very different than LA, you know?
Very different. And he loves flying, which is really great. Like, it's really funny. Cool. Well, he'll be, you know, we walking down the little, whatever you call that, like the jetway or whatever. Yeah. And he's like running. He's like, this is going to be so much fun. And everyone's looking at him like, what the hell? And he's very specific about what airline he likes to fly.
Oh, what does he like?
He likes JetBlue because you can get up and get your own snacks.
Oh, okay.
So he'd be like, Dad, I don't want to fly in the red plane. I want to fly in the blue plane. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing that. And then, like, as soon as we get on the plane, he's like, I want cookies. I'm like, wait. You got to wait. But he's like a little pro, dude. He's got his little carry-on bag. And, yeah. And also, like, he loves being in New York because he loves trains. He's really into trains right now. So he would be stoked riding the subway all day, every day, like that. Like, he gets, like, it's like a full body experience when the train comes down the tunnel. He's like, yeah. It's crazy.
Do not take him on the subway at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
I did that a couple visits ago. I was in the city for something, and at like 3 a.m. I took the subway. It's nothing but homeless people sleeping on the subway.
Oh, really?
And it stinks.
Oh, no.
It's pretty rank. That was an interesting. I did not realize that that's what was going on at 3 a.m. in the subways.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I kind of have like a fear of being underground growing up in LA. Like, I know there's not earthquakes here, but like I still like do not like being underground.
That's interesting. Do you have a fear of flying or anything?
No, not really.
Just underground.
I don't like to be underground.
Yeah. Do you do subways or do you just do cabs?
I do, especially because Dodger likes the subway so much.
He'll suck it up.
So yeah, I'll do it with him.
Do you go, Dodger, isn't this scary?
No, I try to act like I'm having as good of a time as he's having.
How'd you get here today? Subway?
I took a car.
You took a car, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Like an Uber or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, man, thank you so much.
You got it, man.
You're going to sign a bunch of stuff for me. Thank you.
Yes.
I promise I'll never ask you again.
No worries. Anytime, man.
Maybe next time I'll have all Mighty Duck stuff.
Yeah.
Are you doing any cons coming up or anything?
I don't know of any.
You did the Big Apple Con last year.
I did, yeah.
And I went to it this past weekend.
Uh-huh.
They had no air conditioning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yikes.
The escalators were broken.
Oh, my God.
It was a bit of a mess. But do you like doing those cons?
You know, I do, actually. I didn't really know what to expect. John Bernthal, actually, was the one who kind of got me involved in doing them. He sort of set me up with a guy that he works with that...
He does a lot.
Books these cons. And, yeah, I guess not that I thought that it was going to be, like, a bad experience, but I didn't know what to expect, and I found that I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
You know, it's a good... you know, with so much secrecy around the show, there's not really a lot of interaction with the fans unless you, like, run into someone on the street who recognizes you. So to be in an environment where you can, like, you know, sort of chat with people and find out their likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's always weird, funny things that happen. Like, there was a guy that came through the line that was like, I'm a lawyer, and... you know, a lot of the stuff you guys do on the show is, like, totally way off. And I was like, sorry. And there was a guy, a few people behind him, he was like, well, hold on. I'm a lawyer, too, and I actually think that the lawyer stuff is really good. And then they got into, like, an argument over that. So it's like, I do enjoy that kind of stuff. And I also really enjoy, like, you know, when it's sort of like a generational thing, you know, where like it's like a father-son that come through line, or, you know, like a mother and son who both love the comic and love the show. And I like that kind of stuff, you know.
That's pretty cool.
That's
pretty cool. Well, Heyman, thank you again.
You got it, man.
And we will see you next time.
All right.
And do you want to plug your Instagram?
Sure. Sweet Butter MD.
Yeah, and you're still not on the Twitter or any of those things?
No.
Okay, you're going to stick to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not good at... I don't even really know how to do the Instagram, really. I mean, I like post pictures, you know what I mean? But like...
Then you write something, you're doing it.
Yeah, but sometimes people will be like, hey, I like I made a comment on your thing, you didn't respond, but it's like I don't.
You don't have to respond.
I'm not even sure how to do that.
You don't have to. You don't have to respond anyway. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got it, man.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Elden, for talking with me again on my podcast. Always good to chat with you. I gotta check out Raoul's sometimes. It sounds so good. Cool. So watch season 3 of Daredevil this instant on Netflix. Be sure you're caught up with seasons 1 and 2 and The Defenders, all on Netflix. Elden was kind enough. He has signed many eBay auction items for me, and there are probably some up right now. You could find the links on mine or Deborah's, my girlfriend Deborah Ann Wool's pages. My Twitter is at EJ Scott, and the podcast is at EJ Podcast. My Instagram is EJScott1106. My website, EJScott.com. Running Blind documentary on Amazon, Google Play, and iTunes. And curechm.org to learn more about choroideremia. And for these eBay auctions, you could go to my pages or my girlfriend, Deborah Ann Wool. She is at Deborah Ann Wool, WOLL, on Twitter, and Deborah Ann Wool fan pages on Facebook, and I think it's Deborah_Ann Wool on Instagram. So go check that out. Check out the eBay auctions. There's a lot of great stuff. So if you don't see anything right this second when you're looking at it, hold on, something's coming. So keep checking back. And go subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, Google Play. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go subscribe to my podcast on iTunes and iHeartRadio. Don't miss any past podcasts or future ones. My next podcast is Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin on Daredevil. And it's a great talk. I talked to him for over 2 hours. So there you go. And we will see you next time. Thanks.